What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. It's January 1st. It means one thing. It means the transfer window is officially open. What business are Manchester City going to get done this month? Well, I'm going to keep you up to date every single step of the way, every single day here on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Now less than 500 subscribers away from 33,000 subs. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up as well, as it is the first daily Manchester City transfer update of the month. We're going to go ambitious. 300 likes. Any help towards that would be fantastic. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below. So, we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the outs, and of course, we're going to be speaking about Kalvin Phillips. And I am going to be speaking a lot about Kalvin Phillips this month because I am expecting him to leave Manchester City. Now, Paul Hirst has confirmed that contact has happened between Manchester City and Juventus over a potential loan for Kalvin Phillips in January. We know that Crystal Palace, we know that Newcastle United are also interested in signing Kalvin Phillips this month. I am expecting, if Phillips does leave Manchester City, for it to be on loan with an option to buy rather than an obligation to buy. I'm not expecting a permanent transfer this month, but the longer this transfer goes on into the window, movement could happen and permanent transfers could be sorted for not just Kalvin Phillips but for other players at Manchester City as well. And that's the beauty of the transfer window. We saw João Cancelo leave Manchester City very late on in the window last season in January, and that's not something that was expected right at the beginning of the window. So if there are players out there who want to leave Manchester City that are actively looking to go somewhere else, if a suitable offer does come in and a transfer request is handed in, or you're falling out of favour, or you've upset Pep Guardiola, etc., then things can change at a rapid pace, whether that be the summer transfer window or that be the January winter transfer window here in the United Kingdom. I am expecting Kalvin Phillips to leave Manchester City this month. Sergio Gomez's future potentially could be sorted as well. I'm hearing word that there is interest from Turkey in Sergio Gomez. We'll see what happens with that. But if Manchester City are letting their squad players leave, one or two things is going to have to happen. Either more young players are promoted from the academy, which is just about what we've started to see over the last 6 weeks or so, with 2 or 3 young players getting called up to the senior first team squad. They are still officially classed as EDS, Elite Development Squad players, under 23 players, rather than Manchester City first team squad. So we could choose to promote 1 or 2 to the first team squad on a permanent basis should the likes of Sergio Gomez and Kalvin Phillips leave the club. Or the second option could be that Manchester City choose to dip into the January winter window here in the UK and bring players in to replace the players that are leaving. I think if I'm going to sit on the fence here and play it safe, potentially just one player out for Manchester City on loan, that would be Kalvin Phillips. Potentially 1, maybe 2 young players brought in by the club. Nobody for the first team squad, and Kalvin Phillips doesn't get replaced because Manchester City are happy to go with their squad because they know that Kevin De Bruyne nearly is 100% for the club from his injury that he's had, which has kept him out for 4 months or so. So Manchester City happy for Kalvin Phillips to leave, and Kevin De Bruyne comes back from his injury, that our squad size stays the same before and after the Kevin De Bruyne injury, of course. With not having De Bruyne, but you do have Kalvin Phillips. Kalvin Phillips goes, and then you do have Kevin De Bruyne. We will see if Manchester City do change their stance or things start to happen, City start to look into the market to bring somebody in the winter window. I will, of course, keep you up to date every single day here with daily Manchester City transfer updates. I also wouldn't rule out Manchester City potentially just scouting and having a feel out there for potential summer transfer business as well, because often Manchester City like to get their business done very early, whether that be the winter window or whether that be the summer window. And if they are thinking about the summer window, then City like to get their business done early. I'm talking May, June time, to try and wrap up maybe one signing, which means Manchester City will have to have all the work in the pipeline already sorted. Transfer deals don't take days, they don't take weeks, they take months, and Manchester City will be getting their preparation in place, ready for the summer window as well right now, as also with the winter window as well. As I said, any developments, I will keep you up to date. So moving on to the ins, got the latest on Claudio Echeverri over at River Plate. Now, CalcioMercato in Italy has said that Echeverri's agent has given an interview with them, and he has confirmed that everything is now in place for Echeverri to sign for Manchester City from River Plate in the upcoming January winter transfer window. He says that him and his client Echeverri are very happy with the terms of the contract. And then just yesterday evening, Fabrizio Romano, we're very much into Fabrizio Romano season now, he says that he's given it the here we go. He will sign a 6-year contract at Manchester City. Documents are now being exchanged between Manchester City and River Plate, and it's been confirmed from Fabrizio Romano that Echeverri will stay with River Plate on loan until December 2024. If he signs his contract now, I'm wondering if it's going to be a 5.5-year deal, because I know in South America their season runs from January through to December. It's a little bit different here in Europe. It runs from June to June, so contracts are normally until June 30th of whatever year your contract's going to be. So if it's a 6-year deal, I don't know if it's going to be a 5.5-year deal from now and it ends in June of 2029 or June of 2030. I'm not too sure. Normally, it gets put out there if we sign a player in January, they sign a 5.5-year deal to round it off. To say a 6-year deal is not how business is done in Europe, so I don't know if the contract will be until 2029 or 2030. I'm awaiting further clarification. They just say that it's going to be a 6-year deal, and that to me is open for interpretation, so we'll wait and see. Knowing with how Man City like to do their business, I imagine it's probably going to be until 2029, not 2030, because as far as I'm aware, we haven't got any player contracted until 2030, because City just don't tend to hand out such long contracts. City tend to do 3, 4, 5-year deals at the very most. I've not seen City do a 6-year deal, so I reckon this would be a 5.5-year deal rather than a 6-year deal, which would keep Echeverri at Manchester City until June of 2029. Again, if he stays on loan at River Plate, who knows how long that contract runs? Does his contract start in December 2024 or January 2025, when we may see Echeverri as a Manchester City player? Is there a clause in his contract, just like there was with Julian Alvarez, where Manchester City could choose, because Echeverri will be a Manchester City player very soon, which means Manchester City get to dictate all the decisions around him. And if Manchester City see him as part of the first team squad and want to bring him here in June, which is something we did similar when we brought in Julian Alvarez from River Plate, that Manchester City have that option here with Echeverri as well. Again, the finer details of this deal are a bit sparse. All I know, €25 million release clause. Manchester City are going to activate that, so there doesn't need to be any negotiations, and Manchester City continuing their strong relationship with Argentina and their strong relationship with River Plate as well. And should there be any more high upcoming prospect coming in from Argentina, City will be interested. In particular, if they're coming from River Plate, the Manchester City will be very interested, because City's business working relationship with football, with River Plate, going from strength to strength. It goes beyond just paying money now. There seems to be a mutual agreement here between the two clubs, where River Plate know that Manchester City have the best interest of the player at heart. Manchester City don't mess around when it comes to money as well. So it's good for business, it's good for River Plate, it's good for Manchester City, and it's good for the player as well. Julian Alvarez, Claudio Echeverri, we see Maximo Perrone coming from Argentina as well. There seems to be a reoccurring theme here. I wouldn't rule out Manchester City at some point in the next 6 to 12 months dipping again into that Argentinian market. Valentin Barco, anybody? Apparently that's been pushed to the side. City cooling their interest in the left-back from Boca Juniors. I wouldn't rule out Manchester City reigniting that interest. Maybe not in this window, but if he doesn't leave in this winter window, maybe he'll be open in the summer window. And who knows, Sergio Gomez, if he leaves, opens up a little bit of space and a little bit of manoeuvrability there for Manchester City. What direction are the club going to want to go in through the winter window heading into the summer window? That's for me to keep you guys up to date over the next 31 days. So there we go. That has been today's daily Manchester City transfer update. Do subscribe. As I said, it is free to subscribe, so I can keep you up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up. Mega ambitious, 300 likes. And also don't forget, get your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Finally, I wanted to wish everybody a very happy and prosperous new year and a fantastic 2024. Peace. Ciao for now.